All right, so you're gonna let yourself stretch out in your nice X position. Your feet can be about as wide as your mat or a little wider than your shoulders. Arms a comfortable height. They don't have to be high overhead, but they're at least out in a T like Damien's got. You're gonna start with your right leg. You're gonna pick it up just a little bit off the floor. It doesn't have to go high. Cross it over your midline, cross it over your left leg, reach it on long across. Feel it take your hip, take your waist, take your ribs. It might lift your shoulder. It might even lift your hand out of the ground. It's okay if your head turns, it's okay if it doesn't. Pull back through your right arm, reach it longer, pull through your shoulder, ribs, waist, hip, and there goes your leg, and settle it back down onto the floor into your X. And then you go on the other side, all that, left leg. Lifts just a little bit, reach it long, let it slowly, sequentially from your tailbone up through, pull you into this rotation of your spine. It's okay if your arm lifts, it's okay if it doesn't. Reach back through that left arm. Start with the arm, shoulder, yes, ribs, waist, hip, leg, coming back down. Same thing, except starting with your arms now. So you're gonna take your right arm, reach it across you, over you. Here you might start to notice your left shoulder, so just do what you can with your head, with your face, with your shoulder. Feel that long line from your toe to your fingertips. Yes, then pull, toe's gonna win, pulls you back over, hip, waist, ribs, shoulder, arm, yes. Settling into your center, onto your back. One more limb left, your left arm. Reach it up, take it across, take it over. It's okay if your head turns, it probably will, probably should. Pull it through. See if you can reach, stretch just a little further, like you got puppet strings, like somebody's grabbing onto your arm and pulling you, pulling you, pulling you, pulling you. Yep, then you're gonna pull back through that foot. Yes, leg, hip, waist, rib, shoulder. Let the head just roll. Settle back for just a second, heavy onto the floor. Let yourself release. Good. And then we're gonna bring you back together. Bring your legs together underneath you. Bring your arms down by your sides. Feel that set up, your center line, the two sides of your body. You're gonna go to bent knees. Step your feet onto the floor. It's your choice here. If you'd rather be in your parallel with your legs a little bit apart, if you'd rather be in your Pilates V with your heels together, knees a little bit apart, go where your hips feel pretty happy. All right, we're gonna start preparing for your 100 here. So bring your hands up behind your head just to support your neck. You always want to keep a little bit of air under your chin, even when you're lifting up in that curve. So feel your long spine. Use an exhale, lift your head out of the ground. Use your shoulders to lift, support the weight of your head. Feel that curve for just a second, and then roll yourself, stretch yourself back long down to the mat. Let the head settle, let it have its weight. 2 more of those, just right through center. Exhale while you come up. Inhale while you roll down. Nice and long. Yes, one more, right through your center line, through your midline. Try to leave your hips far away from your head. Your head is coming up, but your hips don't have to come toward your face. Yeah. And then you roll it back down, stretch, feel long through. All right. Now you are gonna come up in your 100 curve one more time, and you're gonna stay there for a little bit. So you're gonna lift, use an exhale again. Now just keep breathing, because you're gonna be up for more than one exhale. I want you to take a side bend towards your right. Bring your right shoulder towards your right hip. Yes, feel your right waist pull. Feel your left waist gather, pull you back into center, pull you through center point, and then you keep on going over to the left side, pull. So you feel yourself slide a little bit on the mat here. Yeah, bring it back into center. Do use an exhale while you turn back over to the right side bend, curve. Yeah, pull your hip and your rib together. Bring it back up, stretch it long. Last one over to the left, because these are pretty intense. 2 in each direction is good for now. We're just getting warm. Bring it back to center. Roll down, lay down, just to release for a second. Take a breath or two, feel your abs open up, feel your neck fully relax. And after you've had a moment there, you're gonna come up one more time. Into your 100 curve, leave the hips away from your face. Remember, yes. Now this time you're gonna rotate around your center axis. So turn to the right side, lift your left rib cage up out of the mat. Rotate it back into center. You're in 100 curve, right like you just lifted up. Exhale over to the other side. Good, right rib lifts out of the mat. Bring it back into center. Catch your breath. Here's one more. Exhale, turn. Try to keep both shoulders, both ribs, equal distance from your hips. Yes, keep it moving. Move it on across through center. Exhale it over. Feel that twist, but not a skew, not a fall. Yeah, back into center. Now roll down through center. Good. Yes, that's a lot for your obliques. It's a lot for your whole core. So you've had a chance to feel center, side bending right and left, rotation right and left. We're going to bring it back right into the center line to do your 100 proper, just to really get you going and get you breathing. Let's start with feet lifted off the mat. So go ahead and come to a tabletop position, which for me is where your shins are parallel to the floor. Thigh bones are up at a right angle out of the ground. You could do tabletop in parallel. You could do tabletop in your V or a little bit of a frog. It's still tabletop. It's still a flat table. So whatever makes your hips happy here. Reach your arms up to the ceiling now. So your neck might have to work a little harder, but remember you want air under your chin. While you exhale, roll, come up, start pumping the arms in your 100, and breathe. Yes, while you're here, keep going up and down the checklist from your head to your toes. So you've got that air under your chin. Your head is over your chest though, not dropping back. Right. Arms reaching long, triceps working. All your abs, yes, they're contracted, but they're not short. Your waist should still feel nice and long. Hips are not towards your face, they're away, they're out on the mat. Good. You could make it harder by straightening the legs, but let's just stay here. Just keep it here for now. Do like 2 more good breaths here. Finish your next exhale. Pump the arms all the way to the end of the exhale. Use an inhale to lift your arms high and stretch your spine to lay back down on the mat. Stretch backwards, feel your head come heavy down onto the mat. Great. Keep your legs up though, because now you're going to transition into your single leg stretch to get your legs going a little bit in addition to everything else. So reach your hands onto your right leg. Both hands hold over the right shin. Yes, and your left leg is going to stretch out and you 100 curve up. This is where you start. Line up your 2 hips, line up your center line. Switch legs, switch arms. And switch legs, switch arms. Hold on to your center. Yep. And we're going at a pretty slow pace here. So inhale one leg, exhale the other leg. You have options for your breathing here, but this is kind of a slow, deliberate pace. We won't do too many more of these. Keep your hips away from your face. Keep the air under your chin. Good. Finish when your left leg is coming into you, so you know you've done the same number each side. Then bring both legs in and stretch your spine back down to the mat. Unroll it, let your shoulders relax. Let your head roll a little bit there. All right, now you're gonna set your feet back down on the mat and you're gonna slide, let's do left leg first, slide your left leg out straight. So you can still have your 2 hips level, the 2 halves of your pelvis level, even though your 2 legs are doing different things. So maybe when you pick up your 100 curve, check for a second, look at your hips and make sure that that's true for you here. Let's go back to the hands behind the head. And you're going to do that twist again, but with your legs asymmetrical. It's going to change the work a little. So here you come up in your 100 curve. Exhale, lift. Air under your chin, hips level away from your face. Spiral to one side. Yes. Bring it back into center. Spiral to the other side. Keep your shoulders the same distance from each hip. Bring it back into center. We'll do 2 more each side. You don't have to spend a ton of time there. I have a lot to say, but you can move a little faster than I talk usually. Yes. And I think this is 3 each side. This is your last one to the left, true? Or 1 more set. You're there, you're good. And you roll down, lay it down. Great, now we just have to do that on the other leg because you probably feel the difference of going towards a bent leg versus going towards a straight leg. And you wanna always work to evenness, so here's your other leg setup. Here you go, we'll just go right through it. Use your exhale, bring it up, air under your chin, and twist to your left side first this time. Yes, back through center, and spiral it on over, and back through center. Good. Find your breath within this. I find it easier to exhale on the twist, but your rhythm might be a little different. Your breath might be longer or shorter than mine. So keep breathing through it till you've done 3 to each side, and then you're back in center to roll yourself down, lengthen out. Awesome, okay, so everybody should be feeling really warm in their abs, really strong in your obliques. Good, good. So we'll go on into a little sort of roll-up version, roll-up teaser hybrid, I think of it as. You're gonna bring both feet to the mat, so both knees bent, and walk your feet a little further out than you have been. Damien's already there. Take your feet a little further apart, Aisling. And actually, Damien, bring your feet in just a little bit so your feet are as wide as your hips, not way out. Yeah. I like to flex my feet here, dig my heels. See if you lift your toes, push your heels down, see if that gives you this feeling of your hamstrings holding up into the back of your hips to make your legs strong. Yeah, cool. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. You're gonna scoop your arms out to the side. So the arms are gonna do a circle, big swoop out to the side as you start lifting. 100 curve lift. Yes, bring it up. Try to keep those feet on the mat, heels on the mat, right? Really rise up tall. Make your spine as tall as your fingers. Roll down, reach your arms forward for a little counterbalance. Keep those heels down. Yep, roll it down in your arms. Swoop back around, come back up into center. So you can circle wide to start, open out, scoop into center, exhale, lift, heels down if you can, fight for it, yep, lift up tall. I forgot this on the first one. While you're up tall here, you're gonna take a little twist. Pull up to the ceiling to the right side, back to center. Exhale, pull up taller to grow taller in the twist, back to center. And then you roll down through center, one bone at a time. Yeah, so you're probably starting to feel your two sides are different when you're twisting right and left. So think about that, what that means for when you're rolling up through center, that your two sides are not the same, but you want to bring your body up through center. So go ahead, yeah, scoop in, lift up, work those two sides. Go left first this time, twist. Two hips staying right on the mat. It's not a big twist, back to center. Just a little turning, just, right? A little bit of rotation through center. Bring it down through center. Feel both sides of your body. We got one more of these, just one more. Find your breath. Yeah, let it feel nice and swoopy to come up. Use those hamstrings. There you go. There you go. Legs are down. Yes. Whichever way you want to go. Twist one side. Exhale. Inhale up into center. Exhale it over. Bring that waist around. Bring that, yes, Damien, side body around. Good. Now this time, instead of rolling down, you're going to bring it back into center. Let your arms relax. Send your legs out a little straighter. Bring them together and just let yourself reach forward. Nice, easy. Fold forward. Take a moment to relax. You can bend your knees. You can shake out your head. You can put your arms where it makes sense to, probably somewhere along your shins, ankles, feet, somewhere. Yes. And Damien's already starting it a little bit. That's exactly where we're going to go. You're going to stay over in your curve. Be generous with the knee bend here. Be generous, yes, so you can really feel your spine stretch long. Your neck is part of your spine. Now you're going to slide your right hip forward, slide your left hip back. Feel your sits bones shift on the mat, and you will feel that rotation come across your low back. You pull your right hip back, slide your left hip forward, go to the other side. Yeah, your feet will slide on the floor. One leg will probably be a little straighter than the other as you go through, like you're walking. Walk, take another step, walk over. If your hamstrings are killing you here, give more bend to the knees and maybe come up out of your far reach of your head a little bit. I want you to roll across your low back. So really get into this. If you go shift over the other way, get into that spiral. Yes, yes. And just a few more of these. Yep, really feel your waist. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then one more thing here in this forward fold. Does not have to be your deepest forward fold ever. Feel your hips level, reasonably level. Feel your legs reasonably level. You're going to pick up your right arm. Just lift it up off of your foot. Yep. Look underneath your right arm. Spiral. Turn. Reach all the way to the back. It's okay if your hips shift a little here too. Bring it down. It's got to kind of glide, trace along the floor and back over. And then your left arm. Reach it forward. Lift it up. Take it up. Yep. Up, around, back. Turn your chest with it. Turn your rib cage with it. Scoop it back into center. Back in that fold. Now you're going to kind of take your right arm, slide along the floor behind you. So you reverse your circle, reverse your direction, reach way, way back there. See the back of the room, see up to the ceiling, see all the way around and down. And here goes your left arm, reaching, sliding along the floor, back behind you. Turn your chest, turn your two shoulders. Yeah, right. Lift up, bring it around, take it down. Really let yourself relax here. Give just a little wiggle, shake it out. Bring your legs together and then just easy roll back down to the mat, lie down. Nicely with control, yes. All right, good. Hope everybody's feeling good now. You're going to bring your legs close together, right and left. Feel that set up, your hips holding your structure, holding you there. Your arms don't have to be pinned to your sides, but they're pretty close under your shoulder line, going into some leg circles here. It's easier to go through a bent knee, so we're going to start with the right leg, bend your knee, lift your leg up, and then stand it up towards the ceiling. Turn out into a Pilates V here. And we're going to start with this version of leg circles. You are going to actually let your hip lift up out of the ground as you cross center. So there's your rotation again. Hey, come down around, reaching opposite your head. You roll across the back of your hips. Now when you open out, you keep your two hips on the ground and bring it home. So it's just this initial cross that lifts your hip. As it sweeps through, sweeps on down, you come into your center with your pelvis. Yep. Do one more that direction. It's like your hip could push your foot across your body. Yeah. Then 3 in the outside direction. It's still the same hip lift. It's still at that moment of crossover. Pick your hip up. Yep. Then set your hip back down. Reach over. 2 hips are down. Reach across. Hip comes up. Yes. Take one more. Really think about this motion coming from the pelvis as you push the foot up out of the ground. Push the leg up across your body. Yes. Go through a bent knee again. Slide it down long on the floor. Drum your knees on the floor. Give it a little shake out just to reset. Ready for your other side. So we'll do 3 each direction. Yeah. It's harder to go through a straight leg. We're doing bent because it's easier. If you want a challenge, you can just pick that straight leg up. Pilates V. Yep, thank you. Here goes your hip up, cross, reach down long. Little opening out to the side, up and home. Take your inhales, you lift your hip, reach across, down low, and home. This is rotation through your low back. Let it spiral you. Yeah, right, that's 3. You go the opposite direction. Taking the leg outside should not lift your hips out of the ground. It's not a far outside reach. It's just a little bit. This is the last one. Get your hip up out of the ground. Yes, there you go. And bend the knee. Send it back down. Give it a little shake again. All right, nicely done. Getting set up for your shoulder bridge next. You're gonna bend both knees, step your feet to what feels like a good solid structure for you. You wanna have that architecture nice and solid under you. So you can feel the soles of your feet while you're here. And feel again, your hips are far away from your face. Your upper back is high above your hips. Cool, okay. Stand into your feet. Curl your tail up out of the mat. Press both feet to the mat. Press both shoulders to the mat. Keep your abs wrapped around back to front so you don't go into a big splayed arch. Looks good, looks good. Roll down through the center. Feeling your spine come down piece by piece by piece by piece by piece all the way to your tailbone away from your face. Yeah. One more of those, just straight up through center. Curl the tail. Use your triceps, use the back of your shoulders. Yes, while you're up here, I like to think a little bit about still being in my 100 curve. It's kind of an upside down 100 curve, but that upper ab knit really helps to pull you all together. Great. Roll it on down, bone by bone. Open your chest as you go there. Yep, on through that curve of the low back, on over your sacrum, all the way out to your tailbone. All right, now you're gonna keep both feet on the mat, but you're gonna put the weight into your right foot. So if you come up just with the weight in your right foot, your left one is just almost floating on the mat there. Yeah, it will rotate your spine. Your left hip will probably be higher than your right as you're coming up here. Come down with the right side of your spine coming down first because you made yourself crooked because you've unevenly weighted your feet. You've made yourself rotate, not really crooked. And then try that on the left. So press your left foot really hard. Let your right foot just float. You could just as easily pick it up, but we're just letting it rest on the mat. Yes, and come down that left side of your spine, through the rib, waist, hip, to the tailbone, and then roll across the back of your hips. Good. So you're gonna transfer over to the right again. You're gonna come up the same way. So your left side lifts first if your right leg pushes it up. Yeah, really let that bring you over here. Then when you're at the top, when you're at the apex, level out the weight in your feet. Feel it roll you across, yep, and you're gonna come down with the weight on your left foot. So you pass it over at the top. Take it on around to the other side. Let's do that one more time. So right foot pushes, which lifts your left side. It's a little counterintuitive, but there you go. Yeah, pass it over at the top. Roll, you have a moment of level, you have a moment of even, then onto your left, and your left side comes down first. Yeah. Now we're gonna reverse the direction. So come up, left foot presses, right side lifts. Yeah, yeah. And you turn it over in the center. Find level, find center, then pass it over to the right side. Good. Bring it on down all the way, still sequentially through, still that rippling spine action. Yes, one last time. Left foot presses, right hip lifts higher because the left foot presses. Yes, good, good. So it's really rotation within your cylinder here, within your frame. It's not that you're swinging your hips over to one side and landing down crooked. Once your pelvis settles and you roll the weight back across, you're more or less exactly in your center line, right where you started. So rotation doesn't have to sway you through space. Cool, okay. Step your feet out just a little further again. Go back to that place where your heels dig on the mat, your hamstrings are latched. We'll transition to standing up here. See if we can get there nice and fluidly. So your arms lift up. This is the same. We've done this once already. Through center, circle the arms, come in, roll, lift up. Yes, and you're gonna send it forward, over in that reach. All right, so now you're standing up. You can step back a little bit on your mat so you've got some room to move your limbs here. room to move your arms. All right, you can be in Pilates V if you want to be very held together. You can give it a little space between if that feels nicer for your low back. There. All right, so you're going to reach your arms up to the top. Imagine lying down on the mat. As you roll forward, curving through your spine, let your chin nod over your chest. You have a moment of 100 curve. It's like rolling up out of the mat, except you're rolling down to the floor. Like rolling up out of the mat, you can let the knees bend as much as you need to, anytime that you need to. Yes, and let your head shake out heavy here. Good. Just like you were rolled forward, reaching for your ankles. You can put your hands on the floor because your weight's a little more forward here. But it's like that, like when you were reaching for your ankles. So you're going to shift, bend your left knee more, feel your right leg straighten, and feel that rotate your low back the way it did when you were on the ground. Yeah. And then you're going to switch that bend of your knees. Feel your sits bones walk right. Think of rolling forward. Yeah. So you don't hang the weight back in your heels. You dive forward a little more. Let those knees be a little more bendy, a little more fluid, so you get through all this low back stuff. Good. Yeah. And you get a few times to shift that over. And then you're going to find the center. Shake out your neck just in case it got a little tense there. Now you're going to take your right arm, reach it up behind you. Swing it. We'll go this way first. Reach it up back behind you. Yep. Rotate it around. Feel it open up your chest. Turn, comes all the way around and comes down. Left arm, reach it up behind you. Open up your chest. Yeah, so here your spine extends. It's less curved, it's more extended. And you keep swooping it on down, bringing it back. Yes, now go out in front of you. Reverse the circle. Still open up your chest. Yep, reach it around back behind. And notice that your knees will not be the same here. Rotation by its nature. Yeah, one more with the left arm. Reach it up forward. Rotation is not a symmetrical shape. So it's fine that you're not symmetrical, because you're not. Right. Now you're going to take one more thing here. You're going to take your right arm, again, up behind you, the first direction that you went. Let it reach up to the ceiling and feel it pull you all the way up. So you're going to come up right. Yes, fingertips lead and you stand up, come out of your rotation, come into center. Good. Can you reverse that? Can you do what you just did to go back down? So you turn first, start bending. Yep, reach up to the ceiling, bend, bring it back down, and when you get down, you scoop back around into front, into your center, and you're there. Try that on the left. Here goes your left arm. Swing it up behind you. Feel it pull you up out of the ground. Lead from your fingertips. Yeah, pull. Your shoulder gets this nice fancy rotation up through here, and then when you're up, bring it all the way, yep, to your midline, to your center. Great. Hand is going to be last. Start bending. Yep. Reach above. Scoop it back in. All right. Be on both feet, be on both legs. Press through center, press your feet. Roll yourself up nice and slow. You can leave your arms heavy, save your head for last. Feel your feet. Take a second to set your shoulders. All right,